Hey guys, welcome to week 1, 2023, season 2 of the track guides for the GT4. Today we're at Charlotte Roval 2018 layout, so different back chicane. So that's pretty much the only difference between the Rovals. So we'll get into it like we always do. I'll break down the lap and then I'll give you a fast lap. Now, the time of day is set for sunset, night time in the race. So I've dialed it back to late afternoon just so I've got a few more visibility things to show you guys. I didn't want to make it dark and then not be able to point out markers and stuff like that. But the race will be a bit later than it actually is in this server. So we'll kick off. So as you come over the start finish line, you'll be in third gear, coming out of that final chicane, up to fourth, brake at the one board, back to third gear. You want to trail the brake in, clip this apex nice and early. The car will slide out. Have a little bit of faith. It's only going to slide to about here, and you should be on the throttle pretty early. And then you're able to carry the speed up over. Through here, it's just a slight lift in third gear, then up to fourth on the exit. And then under the Bank of America sign, you want to brake and back to third gear. So I'm sort of about here when I enter this corner. So it's a little bit unique in the way it is because it's two corners, but you can use it as one. So I kind of drive it a little bit like, it's kind of like a reverse Phillip Island turn two. So clip the apex, but I run the car a lot wider here, and then I rotate the car back. So third gear, come in, grab the apex on the entry, let the car track right out to the curb, so to about here. Half a car width over is fine, and then start to turn the car back at the corner. Now once you get the car to the apex, then you can start letting the wheel run wide. You run over the back of the curb and get right out to the grass. Up to fourth, staying fourth, turn the car in, and then as the wall comes to the track here, so it sort of dips across behind the grass and then comes in. Once you get to the point where the wall actually comes to the side of the track, that's when you start braking. This corner is a bit unique in the way that you could take second or third gear through here. I personally prefer third. I just feel like it gives me a little bit more stability. The car's a little bit more slower out of the corner, but because of the next segment of corners, it doesn't actually affect you that much. Second gear works well too. You get a little bit more of a punch out of the corner. You shift to third and you still use third through the next section anyway, so it doesn't really matter. If you brake early like I do near this wall, you'll find the car will rotate quite easy to get you as close to that wall on the end, in the middle of the corner as possible. So it's really a preference thing. So third gear for me, maybe second for you guys, maybe third gear. About positioning your car here, and then you turn the car at the corner, get it up over the back of the curb, and then stay in third or up to third. Now this bit's the tricky bit. So as you enter here, right? So a lot of people follow the blue line, but you've actually got all this space here to use. Now you got to be careful because you'll see there is a bump and it is quite aggressive. Some cars like it better than other cars. I've found the GT4 to be a little bit sort of touchy over it at times. So I've found for this car, placing half the car over there is quite enough. You know what I mean? It's that camber over the crest where the pavement changes is the issue. So half a car's fine. Still in third gear. Let the car track out to the line. You can go to the wall. I like to just give myself a little bit of breathing space here because it does have the tendency to bite cars pretty aggressively. So, and then it's really just trying to spot your apex. So a lot of guys wait until they get onto the oval, where you can use from the entry here. So as long as you're past that wall, you can cut all that off. So, and then all you're doing is you're sort of just shortening the track by a few meters. So get nice and close to the tyre wall as you're exiting the corner. Let the car track up. It'll track right up to the wall, and then you start to turn it back down for the banking. So get nice and close, get your tyre right on that blue line, follow the car around. You can go a little bit under. I find it's a little bit faster on the banking, but it's much of a muchness, you know. You're flat out through there, so it's not an issue. So then as you come into this one, so this is the fastest chicane of the two tracks. So I'm braking about the start of that yellow barrier. So I brake a little bit earlier. You could probably push it to the end of the barrier. I wouldn't recommend going any deeper than that because you're just going to cause yourself problems on the exit. So, sorry guys, I lost my train of thought for a second there. So yellow barrier, back to fourth gear. I try and stay off the two curbs on the entry. So that one and this one on the inside. But then when I get to here, I aim to clip the rear tire on the back on the first one, and then I run the car over the furthest one away. So it's sort of like that coming through, and then stay as low as possible. You'll be in fifth gear, chase the car around the bottom of the track again. Now, the last chicane is pretty tricky because there's no real brake markers or anything here. So I find personally, it's once the car comes off the banking and I get it to about this position. So there's, like I said, you could count the cones if you wanted to. I think it's about the 8th cone that I'm braking. But it's a feel corner. It's very much a just trial and error till you work out where you're most comfortable. Everybody's going to have slightly different brake markers here, especially as the car comes off the banking, it sort of bottoms out a little bit, so the car does tend to move in the rear as you start to apply the brakes. So it's just finding that comfort level for you guys. But like I said, it's as the car's flat off the banking, your fifth gear back to third gear. You can go second through the last chicane. I find if I can keep up a bit more momentum, but it does tend to pay off on the exit and into turn one again for the next lap. So then once the track starts to go outwards, I sort of start to diagonal the car. I'm not pointing at the apex yet. If you haven't realised, I kind of leave the apex turn in till quite late, because then it's like a short, sharp sort of turn and twist, but I'm already drifting towards the apex. It helps when you're racing as well. It just covers people off a little bit. Third gear, little bit of curb for the first one, but then quite a lot of curb for the second one. Run it up, chase the car right out to the fence. And that's a lap of Charlotte Roval, so we'll give you a lap at some...
Sector 1 is a 10th off your pace. Sector 2 time is okay.
And that's the lap of the Charlotte Roval, guys. We'll see you
Your lap
next
time
time.
was 1:18.17.